An update on a story we told you about earlier this year involving the art world. It stemmed from lawsuits filed by Bare Naked Ladies member Kevin Hearn and tenor John McDermott over paintings sold to them as originals by Norval Morrisseau, Canada's best-known Aboriginal artist. These aren't the first lawsuits related to the authenticity of Morrisseau's work. In 2009, the owner of this Morrisseau painting, Wheel of Life, went to court claiming it was a forgery. Artist Richie Sinclair, who knew Morrisseau, testified in the case and was recently on Canada AM to say, in his opinion, it was a fake. But the court strongly disagreed. After several years and hundreds of pages of testimony, the court ruled that the painting is an original and the gallery did not misrepresent its authenticity, a decision upheld on appeal. Donna Child is the director of the art gallery involved in that case, and Dr. Atul Singla was the handwriting expert who testified in the case. Welcome to you both, and thank you for coming in. And I'll ask you first just a little bit about this case and how it involved what happened.
Sure. In 2009, a gallery client that purchased the painting that we just saw on the screen there came back to the gallery and made a very serious accusation, and that accusation was that the painting we had sold her was fraudulent. And her claim was really based on information she read on the internet, and that's basically how the court case started. And we had provided her with 2 appraisals for that painting that were completed by 2 independent sources, one of them being Joe McLeod of Maslack McLeod Gallery, who in my opinion is the only expert on Morrisseau's work in Canada, and another independent dealer as well, who's also had many years of experience in the art world.
Well, and speaking of experience, and you have so many, more than 30 years of experience in handwriting, you were part of this case to talk about the signature, his painting as to its authenticity. Yes. Tell me how you arrive at that. How do you do that?
I examined the signatures and I was provided with the known signatures of Norval Morrisseau. I compared them and then I reached to the conclusion that they match.
And the court agreed with you?
Yes.
But not everybody did. There was others who, and still maintain that this is not the case, and yet the court overwhelmingly agreed with you, said yes, it was his signature. Tell me a little bit about why people thought that it wasn't a real signature and why it was that you authenticated it.
I think they thought that the signature, somehow it's in their mind that the Norval Morrisseau, he did not sign the back of paintings. So it's in their mind.
So they said if someone signed the back of the painting, then it's a fake. But then,
yes,
and you say that's not
like
the case.
That. Yes, yeah. Then I examined these signatures on the back of the painting. I also saw other paintings having these signatures on the back with similar paintbrush, and I compared them and found them to be matching. So I don't think they're right in that.
Can you show us on the back of the painting where the signature was and what you're looking at specifically?
Sure. So this is the signature on the back of the painting. It's written with dry brush.
So it's a black paint with just a brush, and that's how
it's known as dry brush.
Dry brush.
Okay.
So the main point for my opinion was it's very difficult to make a forgery with a dry brush with such a big signature. When a person makes a forgery, the person tries to make the copy slowly with finger movement. But when a person is writing such a big signature with the brush, it's very difficult to make a forgery. And if the person is successful in making a forgery, it's very easy to detect that because the forger has to stop somewhere to check the signature, to pause, to retouch the signature, but there is nothing like that in this signature. So this signature is written fast speed, and the minute details of this signature, they match with the known signatures provided for examination. So that's why I reached to the conclusion that this is not a fake signature, this is a real signature.
Real signature,
yes.
Authentic painting by Norval Morrisseau.
Exactly.
And let me then ask you, Donna, because it was, I guess, the opinion of some others, not the least of which was Richie Sinclair.
Yes.
He was giving testimony at that case saying he thought it was a fake. The court didn't agree with him.
The court did not agree with him. And, I think the one thing we have to remember in our court case, we had 7 witnesses that came forward to testify on our behalf. One of them being Wolf Morrisseau, who was Norval's brother. And Wolf spent a great deal of time with Norval. Richie Sinclair did know Norval for a period of time. He did not spend a tremendous amount of time with Norval, where Wolfe had. I think the other thing that we have to remember is that the opinions that were given are really unsubstantiated opinions. What we did with Dr. Singla is scientific evidence, and this is, I think, the evidence that the judge preferred, and also the unbiased opinion of Wolfe Morrisseau. Wolfe had absolutely nothing to gain by coming forward and testifying on our behalf.
How do you tell if it's a fake? What do you look for?
Well, I think you look at the color palette for one, you look at the subject matter for one, you actually look for almost imperfections sometimes in the paintings, because we know that Norval lived a very transient lifestyle.
Right.
He traveled across Canada, he lived on the streets, he worked with different dealers over the course of his lifetime, and so sometimes you even look for imperfections in the paintings.
Wow, interesting story, all of this. Dr. Singla, Donna, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.